Hello and welcome to Coffee with Carey. Thank you. Thank you for stopping by today. I appreciate you being here to check in on the conversation. It's a little bit of an update today. I watched, first of all, a show on Netflix called the Tinder Swindler. Try saying that three times. I can't even say that three times very quickly. But I watched that and was mesmerized by a scam that was taking place a few years ago on Tinder by some fella who was taking money from women and using that money to woo new women and doing it so extravagantly with international travel and 4-star hotels and dining and buying apartment. It was crazy. If you haven't seen it, check out at least the first half hour just to see how intense this, I keep saying wooing this woman, but that's literally what it was. He was romancing her to the nth degree, these women, and they were swept off their feet. And he was meeting these women immediately and in person. And that's a key thing that makes it a little tricky when talking about dating scams. I also had a conversation with a client this week, and I wanted to share that with you. Some new thoughts I had. Actually, it wasn't a client, it was a viewer, and I wanted to share that with you today. So if that's at all interesting, stick around. That's what's on the agenda, a little dating scam update. So she messaged me and told me that she had been on one of the Christian dating sites without using names, Tingle, rhymes with tingle, probably is my guess. Could be wrong, I don't know. But the fella realized that she was being led into a scam by was using very, very average looking photos of a very typical looking man. So often these scammers are using photos of the most beautiful people you can find on the internet. Often they're modeling photos of men working as models. And this guy's pictures, she said, were just very what you would see out and about on the dating app, swiping or being matched with somebody on the apps that actually set you up with a particular person to view their profile. And I said, holy cow, these scammers are getting pretty clever. They've realized we're on the lookout for these pictures that don't really look like all the other people we're seeing on the apps. And I really hope that at some point, those will be a thing of the past, because we've come to realize that if something looks or seems too good to be true, it very often is too good to be true and not real. A couple more thoughts I have, let's share those with you. I guess first I want to look back and think about some of those pictures. The guys who are Doctors Without Borders or working in another country, helping people in some way, or in the military, and they have photos of themselves in military garb, but they're far, far away. And I don't know if you've seen my episode on the very, very quickest way to avoid being scammed. It literally is a saying I've broken it down to. I'll put a link to the episode here, but really all it is this. Meet him within a week or delete him. And if that can't happen, then know that you're signing up for a pen pal, and your pen pal probably wants money from you. But if you're a person here, or out there rather, looking on the internet at least, looking for a real relationship, somebody who's going to hold your hand and kiss you goodbye at the door, and then eventually hold your hand while you fall asleep at night and rub your feet against them, then you're going to want somebody who lives near you, who's available to meet you. And if they can, and if they are near you and looking for the same thing, they are going to meet you within a week. If they can't, you set them free and say, hey, when you can, reach out to me again. You know where to find me. But there's no way to get scammed if you're not talking to people who are not meeting you in person. This situation with the Tinder Swindler was a little different, because he did meet them at the Four Seasons Hotel for a cup of coffee within a couple hours of meeting them. And then the trick there is you have to know when somebody, no matter how far you're traveling down this road of relationships, if it's a newer relationship and they ask you for money or ask you to take out a loan for money, no, just no. These women didn't have the money handy. They weren't wealthy women, and the red flags should have been flying when somebody said, hey, can you send me some money? The answer is absolutely no. And I don't have it. And even if she wasn't sure that he was a swindler or a scammer, she just should have said, I love you, but I can't help you. Now back to these fellas who can't meet us and have these amazing photos of themselves and they're elsewhere. I think I want to make sure that for you, or your friends or your brother or your sister, the people that you all message me about on some of my other episodes about scams, are at least having a small little bell go off in the back of your head that this person who looks unlike anybody I see at my CVS, my Target, my Whole Foods, my Piggly Wiggly or Walgreens or whatever, I never see people who look like this, that this unique unicorn on the internet is not in love with me without breaking bread with me at least once. If I met them and they tell me they're in love with me, now I've got some different kind of red flags going off, right? That's a little too quick, and I'm thinking maybe love bombing might be something that's happening here. But if this person is telling me that they are falling in love with me while never having met me in person, that's not real. It's just not real. So I need to delete, move on, delete, and let go. And I hope that that is a signal for you as well to move on. And if it's your brother or your sister who's having this issue, send them over here, because that is not real. Nobody who's walking around looking like a supermodel who's far away needs to be talking to somebody on the internet because they're lonely. There are always women somewhere. Even on the oil rigs. We've got women on the oil rigs now. And there are people that in their hometown they could be talking to, who they went to high school or college with. You in a whole nother state, you're not their love interest right now. So you need to have your spidey senses perk up in this situation and know that this is not what you think it is. So I guess in my closing comments here, I would like to share with you that I think part of the problem is that we were raised by being read to and reading ourselves, when we were finally able to, fairy tales. And I am here to assure you that Prince Charming is not out there. The person you are going to end up with and fall in love with is a real flesh and blood human being who has flaws of their own, because nobody's perfect. Hopefully they are perfect for you and they are very healthy. I just did an episode on healthy relationships. I will link to it right here or here. I always get confused. And you can check that out. That's about how healthy two people should be when they find each other for it to be a successful relationship. But nobody's coming to rescue us. Nobody's falling in love with us without even meeting us or seeing us in person for a cup of coffee or a walk in the park. And I am fairly certain that the person who loves you, when you find that person, you want to be seen for who you are. You want them to be able to look you in the eyes and tell you that they care about you, that they're falling for you. You want to see this demonstrated in real life, in real time, so that you feel special with whatever your love language is, whether that's physical touch. Words of affirmation aren't going to cut it if it's long distance. If they're in your face, though, telling you you look beautiful, I missed you yesterday, I'm falling in love with you, those are not a scam. Those are real. Nobody wants to be idolized or put on a pedestal or admired from a far, far, far away, distant country. We want somebody we can hold their hands and walk down the street. Do we not want somebody that we can go to the grocery store with or tool around in Target for an hour waiting for, someplace else we have to be? I think we do. And that's not going to happen with a long distance romance with Mr. Wonderful with the beautiful, perfect teeth and the silver hair, gleaming, and a little reality check for us. No matter how fabulous, wonderful, attractive we are, the internet is a scary place and we cannot be falling for that anymore. So meet him within a week or delete him. I hope you found that helpful. If you did, give the episode a thumbs up. Hit that ring bell. You're notified every time I upload a new episode. And if you subscribe, that'd be great. I'd see you back here again soon. I appreciate you being here today. And until next time, be safe out there and have a good one.